No, most definitely. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you're watching across the world. Very excited for this stream once again. As you see, got my Inter Miami hat for all my MLS fans. Shout out to 86 Baki, who is a DC United fan. I think Inter Miami's going to pull it out. And of course, like last time, got my UF Cup, who pulled the victory out last night in college football.
Excellent. Um, I just realised I was muted at the start of that intro, so don't worry about that. No one wants to hear from me anyway. Hope everyone's doing good. Um, Josh, how you
Yeah.
doing, mate? It's good to have you back.
Yes, yes, good. Yeah, happy to be here. Missed the last one's great fight, Canelo Triple G two. So we just got the third. I know there will be a lot of discussion surrounding that. But Trinidad De La Hoya, I mean, what better fight and matchup could you ask for? So I think this is going to be an exciting one. Looking forward to it.
Excellent. Just a quick shout out to the people in the chat. We've already got quite a few, which is great to see. Hello to Boz, Kaiser Cobra, Mr. Info, Scab Collector. He's back with us. Good to see you all again, as usual.
Mhm.
We'll be getting into the fight not too long away. Let's start off with covering where we left off in our last live stream a couple of weeks back. The fight from that Sunday was Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz. I did not catch this fight, unfortunately, and I've not been able to see a replay since. Alex, what did you think of the performance and the future for Ruiz?
So I expected Ruiz to win by decision, hit on another which oh man, my mind just went blank. But yes, hit on that. So his right hand was landing. Ortiz, he looked a bit older, couldn't take the shots. Um, the fight, it was kind of a dud, to be honest. There wasn't many punches being thrown. Ortiz, looked like him leading isn't his strength. And like I said, with his age getting up there, he didn't look great. He didn't look terrible, but when that right hand was landing from Ruiz, I mean, he looked like like he was hit by a freight train. So,
Mhm.
so when it comes to Andy, I'm cool with the Wilder matchup. I think it's a great one to make domestically. I mean, I've said it once, I've said it twice, I'll say it again. I'm down for Wilder versus Joshua, which, as we hear, Joshua will be matched up with somebody else big. So, yeah, give me Wilder or Ruiz. I expect Wilder to take care of Ruiz, but we know one thing: Ruiz has the ability to land a big shot with quick hands. It's just when it comes to size as well as what can he do being the smaller man with his lack of footwork and foot speed. That's always going to be a problem for him at his dimensions. And but he is a top 10, top 5 heavyweight in the game currently.
Cool, yeah. You got anything to add to that, Josh?
Yeah, I was able to check it out. I actually thought Luis Ortiz did better than I thought he would. I thought Father Time was catching up with him at a increasing rate, but he still looks pretty good. Now his punch resistance seems to be gone a little bit. That's probably the one thing that he's lost overall. But as far as his power, it seemed to be nice. He was never really a fast fighter, but I thought overall he did well being in there with the younger, fresher Ruiz, and I thought Ruiz did what he had to do, dropped Ortiz a few times, and ended up pulling out the win. He took some big shots, and he took them well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to whatever potential matchup happens with them, especially if it's the winner of Wilder Helenius, because I think just the sheer differences in fighting style and size will make it very interesting.
Yeah, cool. Cool, man. I can also see in our chat we've got Cedric Sports Training joining us for the first time. It's good to have you on board. Thank you for coming. Um, I can see Kaiser has said that Ruiz fought to his level, should have been stopping Ortiz, but decided to take less punishment, take it to the cards. Guess fair enough. Boss
Mhm.
says his hand speed is his big asset, and he can time punches very well. Um, yeah, it'd be quite interesting to see how he does if he goes in with Wilder. That's probably the fight that we all expect to see. Um, any thoughts on Ortiz's future? I mean, he's getting on a bit. Go on, Josh. You're shaking your head a bit there.
Yeah, I mean, he still has some juice, it seems. I just don't know if there's anything left for him at the title level, but he may be able to make some money out there with some fights, some showcase style fights or whatever. But I just don't see him getting any title at this particular point of his career or getting to a title. But hey, who knows? It'll be interesting to see how long he intends to continue to fight.
You got anything to add to that, Alex?
Yeah, not much. Like he said, don't really see a title coming his way. Obviously, someone with a lot of skills, but he's approaching 44, 45 years old, possibly older.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see him retire, but if he wants to get a little bit more money in the bag, why not?
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay. Well, let's move on. On the undercard of that, there was Isaac Cruz. He got an early stoppage over Eduardo Ramirez. If I remember rightly, I thought he said it was gonna go to a decision, Alex, and I was like, nah, he's gonna knock him out. So I'll take a win on that one.
Yeah, I was off on that prediction. I actually had Ramirez winning.
It was Ramirez, and that was right. Yeah, maybe that's why I just brought you up. Can't win them all. That's fine. Okay, let's move along because there's not too much of interest on that one. So I don't think there was any. Oh yeah, that was the the events from last weekend that were in the UK were postponed, obviously because the Queen died. So we had the all-female event, which was quite interesting. We spoke about that at length, really, I guess, Alex, last time. So it was quite disappointing that it ended up being cancelled. I'm not too sure if they've rescheduled that already or not. I've really not seen anything. Do you know anything about that, Alex?
October 15th, same day as the Wilder Helenius fight, and there's actually another couple cards as well, so that's a very busy day.
Okay, and it's the exact same card, is it? The same two headliners at least?
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. All right, cool. Okay, we'll skip over that. So last weekend there was nothing of much note. And this weekend there was a couple of cards on Friday and Saturday, but we're just not gonna bother with them. We'll just concentrate on Canelo Triple G3 because that was the big event of the weekend. It was getting a lot of hype and attention during the week. The weigh-ins were crazy busy and things like that, and I saw a lot of hype and excitement on Twitter. I think we previously, in our last live stream, Alex said that, I at least said it probably won't be quite as good as the first two fights, which were great, especially that second fight was a classic. And so really it proved to be, it was a bit of a disappointing outing. Obviously there were some controversial scorecards, you would probably say. I'd say that at least. I thought it was a pretty wide decision. So that's always a good talking point for us, especially. Josh, what did you make of the fight last night? What do you think of Canelo? What do you think of Triple G?
Yeah, I mean, some of the things that I was thinking would creep into there, like the age factor with Canelo being fresher, that seemed to be on display here. And then Canelo is very comfortable, it seems, at 168 at this point in time. So he looks good, and he's in the prime of his career right now. So his form is top level. Of course, he was moving up in that Bivol fight. So dare to be great, that's the term that's thrown out there. So that is separated from what he's done at 168, and he's basically cleaned it out, and he's continuing to do so. And I think that, last night we just saw a great fighter in his prime against I guess you could say great fighter who was a tad bit slower, a step behind, who seemed to not be able to really pull the trigger much early on. And unlike the previous fights, it seemed like at this particular juncture, Triple G understood that he lost. So well before the cards were read, it seemed to show on his face that he knew that he lost this particular matchup. And I thought that Canelo just dominated pretty much every facet of the fight. Now, I think I had it 117 to 111. Now, I know for sure one of those rounds, it was a charity round for me in some sense, because Triple D did a little bit more than what he had been doing. But realistically, yeah, you may be able to give him 2 rounds in the entire fight, if that. So Canelo Alvarez, just making his case. I'm still the man right here at the top of the sport, and I don't think anything has proved otherwise just yet.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Alex, have you got anything to add to what Josh just said there?
Yes. So, I thought Canelo started out very. Jessica McCaskill said a word I really agreed with. He looked very fluid in those first 6, 7, 8 rounds. I mean, he was working the high guard. He was giving them different looks. He was out jabbing Gennady Golovkin, which I don't think anyone ever foresaw happening. But it seemed after a while, Jonathan Banks was given different instructions and finally got Gennady to really lock in, those last 4 rounds or so. And he performed well. I think there was round 9. They had a really nice exchange for about 30, 45 seconds. And, I thought maybe we were going to finish strong. But, these guys with everything, I think really, honestly, with all the mileage, with the, quote unquote punishment they've taken, I'm starting to think that, obviously Gennady's at the end of his career. I think we might be out of Canelo's prime. He just didn't seem to be able to keep that high level of, of the boxing skills we've seen, especially from the 2021 year he gave us, which is one of the, best years we've gotten from an elite fighter in many, many, many years. He did say he has a torn ligament in his wrist. He compared it to having like a meniscus tear, and he said he may take a whole year off to heal. He said that it happened during the Caleb Plant fight, so that kind of maybe he's trying to, I don't want to say make an excuse, but kind of give a little bit of possible insight into why he performed how he did against Bivol. And he also mentioned he was fatigued. So that's what makes me think maybe his body's starting to break down, as well as maybe this just we're never going to get that Canelo that we just finished enjoying. But I want the Bivol rematch. He should still keep on trying to get these top fighters, whether it be a rematch with Bivol, a Charlo, a Benavidez, whatever it may be, at least to be a top fighter. I hope we don't get a tune-up, because I kind of felt like this last fight was a tune-up. Get your surgery. If you need to take a year off, that's fine. But let's get right back to where we were, and let's see if we can get that old Canelo back. Because that was not the Canelo that I've grown to enjoy last night.
Yeah. I think I'm not too sure that revisiting Bivol is such a wise idea. You just said there, Alex, that you like that fight. Maybe he would have a better chance next time. He's also got a couple of other good potential matchups there, notwithstanding boxing politics, which I'm not too sure about who's with who's promoting stuff in terms of Benavidez, and who else is Ramirez as well, up at light heavy as well, as an all Mexican clash possibly. I think that it was just a bit underwhelming last night. I alluded to it in our last live stream that I think that obviously it would have been better if this happened 3 years ago instead of prolonging this trilogy bout. And Golovkin was turned 40. It obviously slowed down quite a bit, and it's quite fresh in the mind that we've watched the first 2 fights recently. And the first fight, Golovkin was on that front foot a lot and pushing Canelo back against the ropes, and then we made a point of it when we rewatched the second fight that roles were kind of reversed, where Canelo was pushing Golovkin back and he was a bit more successful in that fight. Although having said that, I think we scored a draw in the end. When in the first fight, me and you, Alex, especially, scored the first one to Canelo amazingly. So that was interesting to see how it compared.
Oh, no, other side.
There you go. Compared to the first 2 fights, it wasn't anywhere near as good. There was a lot of moaning on Twitter, obviously, because that's the place to go for moaning. But yeah, it was kind of lackluster, I suppose, and I think Josh mentioned it during his analysis, where you could kind of see Golovkin had kind of not really giving up, but you could just tell that he wasn't winning the fight, and he wasn't going to get the decision either. I've just been having a look at the average scorecard on Fight Night Scores. It's on the screen, and I kind of scored it similar to the way this goes for the average. I think, you know, Canelo goes all the way to 8 rounds to 0, and then there was that definitive round 9 where Golovkin kind of decided to make a go of it, and he won this. Then it didn't win the next round. It was close enough to be deemed a draw on Fight Night Scores. I think I gave Canelo that round on my card because I think I had it 10 rounds to 2, but ultimately it comes out as 9 rounds to 2 with that one even round 10, and I think that was quite a fair reflection. A lot of the rounds were quite close, but Canelo was always edging him. He was always doing the better work, and I was really surprised at the scorecards at the end. Two scores the same at 115, 113, and then Dave Moretti's a bit more in line with reality, I'd say, at 116 to 112. Although that's still probably slightly too close for my liking. One interesting thing that I did pick up on when the scorecards were shown on Twitter is on that round 9 that was definitively Golovkin's best round, only one of the judges scored it in his favour. So explain that one to us, please, Josh.
Hey, judging, that's what it is. Everybody sees something different.
Amazing. Okay, so let's have a look at into the chart. Let's see what some people are saying about the fight last night. Kaiser said, some articles say that Golovkin got paid $43 million for that fight. Madness, if anyone wants to fight again after that. And all those were paydays. Yeah, I mean, you can retire happy with that. Can now either fight Charlo or retire. That's what Boz said. Is that for Canelo, maybe? One last roll of the dice to become undisputed at middleweight, then retire, rather than going up to light heavy, I guess. Or is that for Golovkin? I don't know who they mean. Anyway, yeah, I think that about covers it. Do you both think that Golovkin will continue, or do you think he should hang him up? Go for it, Alex.
I mean, after the fight, he said, hey, remember, guys, I have 3 belts at 160. So I honestly think there's 3 options. Retire, obviously. Fight for the undisputed with Jermall Charlo, who has a WBC belt. Or just get a send-off, whether he wants to do it here in the California, Las Vegas area, or somewhere near Kazakhstan, Other than that, there's what else is there? There's no reason just to get a title defense under your belt. You're 40 years old. You just robbed the bank. You just fought one of the greatest fighters of our generation. There's, like I said, so retire, undisputed, send off. That's it.
Yeah. Would you go along with that as well, Josh?
Yeah, I think I subscribe to the same thought process there. Hopefully he just does the undisputed matchup, since we've at the very least gotten a number of those this year. I mean, the potential of doing that once more. But yeah, if he doesn't do that, then yeah, I think everything else is just kind of, he's either doing it for the money or just, I guess, the love of the game. But certainly he has to think about, his age and where he is at this particular stage, and what does it do for his legacy. So,
yeah. All right, cool. Well, let's leave that there. Obviously, I'm sure we'll soon get Canelo's next moves out there, but I think we'll be waiting a while if he's got that hand injury, won't we? So, yeah, let's just wait and see. I wouldn't mind if Golovkin just called it quits. He's had a great career. He's a legend of the game, and yeah, I think he'll be respected and lauded accordingly from all fight fans. So, yeah, whatever he does, good luck to him. Let's move things along then. Let's get on to fight that we're going to cover this week. Hopefully, Alex is all ready with his notes. I've seen his pad. It's like an essay. So give us that intro, Alex, and I will get us all set up for this fight.
Absolutely. Hopefully this isn't too lengthy. So first, we'll go with the B side, Felix Tito Trinidad. 26 years old for this fight from Cupearto, San Juan, Puerto Rico. He's 5'11", 72.5-inch reach. He is the IBF welterweight champion, making his 15th title defense. That is second most in welterweight history. And also, he is the longest reigning welterweight of all time at this point already. Entering at 35-0, 30 knockouts. He is the ring pound for pound number 4 ranked fighter. He is 6-0 with 3 KOs against former or future champions. One person he beat became a champion afterwards. And his 2 big wins probably coming in is Hector Macho Camacho and Pernell Whitaker. Probably the first fighter to beat him clearly. Let's move on to the A side, the golden boy, Oscar De La Hoya. Also 26 years old, from East Los Angeles, California. 5'10.5", 73-inch reach. 1992 lightweight gold medalist at the Olympics. The Ring Fighter of the Year in 1995. Also named Fighter of the Year by the BWAA, which is the Boxing Writers Association of America. 5-time 4-division champion and the WBC welterweight champion, making his 8th title defense. 31-0, 25 knockouts. The ring pound for pound number 1 fighter. That's over Roy Jones, guys. 12-0, 8 KOs against former and current champions at this time. What a big time fight, huh?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. I'm just trying to get. There we go. Something funky going on with our core video, but hopefully we'll be all right. We're all set. You boys should be able to see the fight on the screen, hopefully.
Yes.
And we should be on the stream as well. Got a couple of screens to jump between, and hopefully we won't have any copyright issues. Fingers crossed. I will need to set this back to the start of the fight.
What, you got a little preview earlier?
I was just testing, man. I wasn't paying any attention to the fighting.
Before the fight begins, a vigorous touching of gloves between 2 fighters who seem to like each other less and less.
Just realised I've not instructed how people can actually score the fight. So, if you've not got the link, it should be in the description of the video, so you can click there. If you are registered, you can join our fight scoring group, sorry. And there is a code to join that, and that again is in the description of the video below. All the instructions are there. If you need to find the fight through the website, you can go to the fight list link on the main menu, and then go to the last page, and it will be on there because it's from 1999. And I think it might also be in the classic fights section as well.
It is.
So there's plenty of ways that you can go and find the actual scorecard that you need to create. And yeah, if you wanted to join our fight scoring group, you can do so as well, and we'll be able to see your scorecards when we are comparing in a little while after a couple of rounds. So with that said, let's get into it.
Every day, round 1 begins. Hoya moving.
Gonna reduce that volume down. Is that volume level okay, Josh? I know you were saying that it was a little bit loud earlier.
Yep. Good to go right here. Thanks.
This fight was September 18th, 1999, so exactly 23 years ago to the day.
Oh, wow.
You definitely see De La Hoya is very bouncy. Definitely like he's ready to use his feet. Really light on those feet, too. De La Hoya is a former 130-pound champ. Like I said, 4-division champ, 26 years old. That's That's unheard of. You just don't see that nowadays anymore. A true golden boy.
Oh yes.
That was a nice right hand. You see Trinidad's going really heavy on that front foot. He's trying to stutter step in and trying to really land that left hook, it seems. But De La Hoya's footwork is just seems to be too good.
Yeah, he can move very well.
And interesting, he's moving to Trinidad's backhand, which is usually a no-no, but Trinidad's trademark was that left hook. As was De La Hoya's, though.
Yeah.
My father always said De La Hoya probably had the best left hook he's ever seen, and it's hard to challenge that. Nice flurry. You definitely see De La Hoya is the one that's controlling when the fight takes place.
Okay, last 10 seconds, and I've barely watched any of this round, so I'm not an official scorer, so it's not going to affect the outcome of the fight. But you can let me know who won that one.
I mean, that was a clear De La Hoya round, I felt like. I mean, he used... Oh, that's interesting. Oh, this is... Okay. So they're showing the judges' scorecards.
Yeah, I thought it was a De La Hoya round as well.
What was that about scorecards, Alex?
No, they scored a three judges. They showed three judges' scorecards, so that threw me off there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess this is one of the replays where they're showing the live scores.
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It just threw me off.
Right.
Is it swaying you? Is it?
Oh no, not at all. No, I can't let. Oh, you see, this isn't the Mandalay Bay in. It says Las Vegas, but if anyone knows, it's actually not really Las Vegas. It's actually Paradise, which is the most of the Las Vegas Strip.
Okay.
Oof, man, you heard those punches land. Jeez.
So Cedric Sport says that was a 10-9 to De La Hoya.
Cedric knows what he's doing, man.
Must have gotten the Trinidad's ear here. He seems to come out a little bit more aggressive.
He's not going so well. He just went heavy on that front foot, but he wasn't before. That was a nice little weave by Trinidad. Yeah, Trinidad can't let that jab for anything. Like I said before, the footwork of De La Hoya, he's so light on his feet, and he has such fast hands. You can see Trinidad's just having issues. I mean, look at that jab just land.
Yeah. Yeah, and Trinidad, he's great when he opens up, but yeah, he was susceptible to situations like this where he finds himself just staring and not throwing. So that movement is certainly a problem for him.
Oof. What a jab landed. I mean, that really snapped his head back. It might have touched his back. His back of the head might have touched his back. That was nice. He parried the jab and landed like a hybrid left hook, left straight. De La Hoya did.
because his right hand goes out almost like a jab, and it gets right back into the station again. Good left hook.
Hard left hook by Trinidad. His
Nice.
most authoritative punch so far. And another.
So into the last 30 seconds.
Good left hook yet, so he's got something to
Is this one still open for a win? Either way.
Neither man.
I'm definitely leading De La Hoya once again. I just feel like he is controlling Trinidad, just plain and simple. Footwork in the jab, and then he'll bust a couple flurries every 45 seconds or so.
Yeah, Trinidad had a couple of moments, but yeah, Oscar De La Hoya is in charge right now for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oof.
Mm.
That was nice. I mean, he throws the straight right hand, lands on Trinidad, and then gets off the line. That man, De La Hoya, it's looking like a boxing lesson out here.
So far it is, yeah. Kaiser says
Mhm.
Oscar's footwork and stiff left jab are controlling it.
Yep.
Yeah.
What on
suggested
earth did
about-
I just see? Did you see those judges' scorecards? They gave it to Trinidad. Very interesting.
Wow.
That is the actual judges' scorecards. Roth, Logist, and Hamada.
Yeah.
Yes, nice short
keep- I
left
keep
hook. But you
missing
see
that
his
popping up.
foot. His foot was off the ground, so not much on that. See, look at that. That's beautiful. Oh,
Those judges need fight night scores so we can understand what they're seeing.
Definitely. Explain it to us, fellas.
Landed more successfully in each of the first 2 rounds.
you know what? I don't remember the car knockout with Trinidad, Boz. I need to go back. You know what? I've seen probably every televised Trinidad fight, so I have to double check that one out. Obakar was a very formidable welterweight.
very wide. And Trinidad has had problems with bleeding in the nose. Pernell Whitaker had the same nosebleed coming from Trinidad.
You get the sense that Oscar is watching Trinidad's right hand and trying to time it for a counter left hook. Now Trinidad sticks his jab up the middle and lands a left hook.
That's the way you want
Let's say he
Nice.
caught De La Hoya coming straight in, so
more about his nose than instruction.
that was Trinidad looks like he's starting to counter. He countered De La Hoya's jab with his own. Then, like I said, De La Hoya went straight in, waited for him to throw, hit him with the left hook. So good start by Trinidad.
Seeking to be more aggressive. Little half steps.
Yeah, it's a bit more on the front foot, and he's trying to make more of it this round.
And Trinidad was notorious for being, not off to good starts. A lot of times he's been knocked down in the second or third round. Nice left hook, touching shot, but still scoring. So it looks like Trinidad has now warmed up. So now it's going to be up to De La Hoya to make the adjustment.
Yep.
You see he's being a little more flat-footed, De La Hoya. So let's see if that adjustment is going to result in more landed punches.
I think it's true of both fighters, Larry.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Sometimes with so much at stake and so much respect between fighters, we get this kind of
Not too much.
Little
of it.
shoe shiner.
tactical fight.
Well, you get the impression they both read the papers.
1 minute left.
They know what they're facing.
Oscar's able to keep moving like that without any difficulty because Trinidad is not landing any good body shots.
Oscar landed a right hand lead. Trinidad doubled up on the jab. Now fires another jab.
Hmm.
Hoya jab.
Nice job by De La Hoya.
That was a nice
Oof.
uppercut as well there. I think this is still anyone's last 30 seconds.
Agreed.
Yeah.
This turns into a jabbing contest. I tell you, Oscar De La Hoya is going to get the best of it. You don't want it to turn into that.
Oscar flurrying in the middle of the ring.
And those flurries, they didn't, land, but, being a judge on one side of the ring, you hear a thumping sound, you're thinking of scoring possibly.
Good jab.
Yeah.
Whenever Trinidad bows down a little bit, Oscar hits
Oh, man. I think that little combination is the one to give it to De La Hoya, I believe. A very close round.
Certainly.
That's a tough one to score. definitely. Let us know in the chat what everyone is scoring for the rounds if you don't want to be so secretive. I think Cedric has said that's another De La Hoya round. Trinidad cutting off the ring, but better, but still a De La Hoya round. Not tough at all for Boz. Go on, Boz. What's your score then? Enlighten us. Kaiser gives it to Oscar 3-0. Oscar nicked it with the Flores in the last minute. Yeah.
Yep.
That's fair.
Agreed.
That is fair. All right, we'll watch the fourth one, and then we'll have a pause and see what's what.
Yeah. These are the kind of matches I love because really this is the elite of the elites at a very high levels, the chess match, and there's not a ton that separates them. So it's all about what you're able to do in there and outthink the person. You can get what you can get from the corner, but it comes down to the two men in the ring right here. An excellent style matchup.
You know, they named this fight the fight of the millennium. So yeah, a lot at stake. Like I stated earlier, number 1 pound for pound versus number 4. 2 top fighters in a premium division welterweight. It's actually the first unification at welterweight since Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard, which took place 18 years before this. So
Wow.
Nice. That's good research, Alex. Good research, man.
Yeah, encyclopedia over there.
man, listen, when you love it, it just comes natural, right? It's not work, let's just say, when you love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect, George. Somebody's got to get a punch through sometime.
Yeah, not much really happening, I'd say, in this first approaching first 90 seconds. A couple jabs landed by both.
Yeah, the theme so far has been Oscar's movement and Trinidad plotting forward, at least trying to get something off. Let's see what changes here as we move on.
Oh.
Nice.
Some nice pressure by Trinidad. But, yeah, Oscar's moving nicely, isn't he?
Yeah, they mentioned that Trinidad landed a combo, 2 punches, but De La Hoya did get one in as well that rocked Trinidad's head back. Nice left hook to the body, man. Yeah, just missed on that right hand. Man, De La Hoya's jab is it's beautiful. I mean, the technique, the speed on it, how straight it gets, how it seems to get right there near the target at least every time.
Trinidad outboxed in the first 3 rounds, but making his relentless pressure begin to work for him in round number 4.
It's another good round for De La Hoya.
Yeah.
Trinidad's looking a little bit lost. Tito just can't land enough, Boz says. Very true. Tito's not hit Oscar in the nuts yet. Must have been feeling sick, says Kyber Colzer. Scores are in. We will just have a pause in a second. We'll watch this replay. And then we'll hit pause. We'll have a look at our average scores.
Yeah, thus far, Trinidad seems to be in a hole.
Alright, let's see if I can find what I'm looking for. This one. this. We have so many scorecards. It looks like we're all on the same page. Everyone's got Oscar De La Hoya winning all 4 rounds. So let's have a look at that average. I guess there's not really much to say. He's won every single round. And everybody is in agreement.
Except for the official judges, of course.
Except for the official judges. That's a very good point, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I think those last 2 rounds, Trinidad has had more moments. Interesting enough, that last round, all judges gave it to Trinidad. Actually, second round as well, all 3 judges gave it to Trinidad, which I thought it was really interesting. And round 1, one of them did 10-10. Yeah, I don't get it.
Wow.
I guess it was close, but
Something's going on there. I don't know.
Even in round 4, in which Trinidad did so much better, De La Hoya outlanded him 20-12 by CompuBox numbers. But Trinidad with the 8-4 edge in power shots. De La Hoya scoring mostly with the jab through the first 4 rounds.
De La Hoya's got to let the fight come to him now. You don't want to start reaching into Trinidad's territory.
that was a nice duck and move. Hitting back.
Trinidad discovering this is entirely different than fighting Whitaker and Hector Camacho, opponents against whom he landed half of his power shots. It's not that easy.
Cedric saying in the chat that Trinidad can only be effective if his opponent stands in place.
Absolutely. He's exactly right. I mean, Trinidad is a puncher. That's what he's known for. You know, he doesn't have elite athleticism, but, you know, with the way he leverages on his left hook, he's able to do it at times. Not the perfect technique, but it's always been good enough, and he hits hard enough to where he's not scared to get hit, and he knows if he hits you, it's going to hurt. But he needs you there. He doesn't feel comfortable moving his feet and punching. You know, the jab is probably about average. Right hand's pretty good, but without him setting his feet, throwing that left hook, you see what he is. Someone that can be outboxed.
Oh, yeah.
And not to say he's not a great. He is a great. But, yeah, somebody with this type of amateur pedigree, with a similar size and more skills, was always going to give him issues.
Yeah, certainly.
But you got to have a chin.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's always an exciting fighter generally, so.
And let me tell you, it hurts because you don't recover. It shocks you right quick and it lingers on for a second.
Nice piece of timing by De La Hoya.
This is a boxing lesson. It's beautiful to watch.
I think a word that you used earlier to discuss Canelo was fluid, and that's what you'd call Oscar De La Hoya right now. His movement's just too much and too good, isn't it?
Yep. But once again, it's can he do all this movement, be this fluid, round 9, 10?
Mm-hmm.
Doubled up on the jab. Tactical boxing match. Left right hand again by De La Hoya. The jumping right on the face.
And those combinations on point.
Yeah, you know, Jim called it. I mean,
He's happy.
Felix
It's his dad.
is lost.
Difficult relation. Oscar and his father, Joel De La Hoya. Joel was in training camp 3 times to visit his son. Oscar said that's plenty. Joel told the writer, I think he looks great. Oscar said, I'd like to hear it from him.
All right, quick look at the chat while we are midway through the break. Rodolfo Rivera is in the chat. Welcome back. Good to see you. Came late, but don't worry about that. You're here now. Kaiser said, amazing when 6 people have scored the fight. Scored fights very differently before all agree 4-0. Boz must be happy because he usually has a totally different scorecard to all of us.
Yeah, we're all on the same wavelength finally.
Yeah, this one's been pretty clear.
Kaiser says it's beautiful. Those subtle feints from Oscar keep keeping the punch count low, landing the real clean shots, making it easy for himself. Yeah, go with that. Cedric says foot skills is why Trini can't do nothing. Correct. Into round 6, things have got to change, man. Otherwise, this is going to be a shutout.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, Letterman gave that round to Trinidad. I don't see how. I guess because Trinidad moved forward the whole time while taking punches.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Didn't back down.
Is it us? Are we crazy? You know, De La Hoya is starting to really sit on his shots, which means he's comfortable with what's coming back at him, and that's bad news.
Yeah.
Most of us know how this fight ends, but I would think we might be onto a stoppage. Even though, I mean, Trinidad's going to start to wilt. Start to wilt. I think.
Yeah. It certainly looks like it's going to continue with this same script, and De La Hoya is just a little bit too good for him right now with that movement.
What would you tell Trinidad to do differently, Josh?
He's definitely going to have to open up. He's going to have to take risks. He's going to have to get inside, because if he just stays there trying to win this battle of De La Hoya being on the outside using this jab, essentially just pot shotting and throwing these combos, then it's going to follow this same script all night. So he's going to have to take some risk. And yes, he's going to get hit, but we know that he has power. So his power is game changing, and he's shown that over the course of his career. So let's see what happens when you get in there and start to touch him up some more.
Yeah. The only thing I can say is jab your way on the inside and just get to work. And yeah, you're gonna have to eat a hard jab coming in, but that it is what it is, because we got to land something. We got to change something. We got to break a rib.
Oh
we
yeah,
got to do something.
yeah. There's only 6 rounds remaining, and you've lost the first 6, or close to that. As a matter of fact, 5.
I was just going to say, he might be winning this one. Just
yeah, one ahead, but yeah,
just on output alone, I think, because De La Hoya's, I mean, he's not really hitting De La Hoya too much clean, but he's probably been slightly more active. But now Oscar's coming back these last 30 seconds. He's hitting and moving.
Yeah, boxing 101, man. He's hitting and not hitting right now, De La Hoya. He's throwing combinations. He's obvious landed punches.
Nothing was closer.
yeah. Trinidad had some good moments in there. Now, was it more than Oscar? That's the question.
Kaiser says there in the chat, Tito goes for the jab to the head, no real body shots, need to slow the legs, getting countered anyway. Cedric's given that one to De La Hoya, displaying the hand speed combos.
Who's accustomed to landing half his punches, is landing at a 27% rate. De La Hoya is up at 41%, very close to his customary 42. So it's Oscar's fight so far.
Right then, round 7, second half of the fight.
Oscar has fought about as well as he could fight in the first half of that fight.
Harold, excuse me, Larry.
If he can sustain it.
For those that do not know, this fight set non-heavyweight records. $12.9 million gate, 1.4 million pay-per-view buys, and in pay-per-view revenue, it made $71.4 million.
Wow. And that was in 1999.
1999. Listen to this. De La Hoya was guaranteed $21 million. Trinidad, $8.5 million. And they probably made close to another 5 to 10 after the fight.
Well, of course, you're the man who lost to Shannon Briggs, George.
But you know that Oscar is doing a good job making Trinidad expel some energy, following him around, keeping his hands up. But that left jab has done all the damage.
I
Like you
guess
said,
that's why.
1999.
I guess that's why Oscar was able to buy the Ring magazine, start a massive promotion company, and kind of take over the sport slightly for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, I think 4 years later he started Golden Boy. Maybe I may be wrong. Maybe it was like 05, but I think it might have been 02.
Another sharp right hand by De La Hoya was just a tiny bit short. Trinidad does damage with the left hook.
All right, Trinidad.
Yeah, it seems that Trinidad's starting to close the space a bit.
Yeah.
He's trying to cut off the ring a bit more, isn't he? De La Hoya's jabbing his face off though.
One man dancing around the ring and the other man chasing him. There's a natural inclination to think,
Yeah, I mean, it's like Josh said, you got to take a risk. I mean, it seems you have the distance now, so now it's up to you. Do
Yeah.
your part.
he's making it work. You know, there's an old saying in boxing, win this fight, then look sensational in the next one. De La Hoya is just trying to win this fight.
He's throwing just as many punches as Trinidad. He's choosing when to stand his ground and rallying and moving away.
I mean, Trinidad's just following him.
The boxing.
I
Yeah,
mean, to
Kaiser's-
cut the ring off is you have to beat them to the spot and throw a punch, and he's just not doing that.
Yeah, Oscar hasn't felt any real pressure from him as of yet. And yeah, he can do that all day if you're gonna have that big of a gap between the two of you.
Oh, that was a nice 1-2 there.
Yeah.
Kaiser made a good point there in the chat saying Oscar's catching and countering, but people scored the blocked shots possibly. Maybe that's why judges might be giving rounds to Trinidad possibly. We'll cut him after the bell there. Kicking off.
Oh, we got a problem here. What?
Let's sit down, boys. Okay, some split cards there.
I mean, he is giving him a boxing lesson.
Oz says brilliant boxing by Oscar. Trinidad trying, but just can't get to him. Can't pin him down. That is exactly right. He also likes Oscar's trunks, but you know you can't give him points for that.
Take a look at that punch after the bell. Momentarily, Oscar stops, catches a little jab to the whiskers.
So I think we'll continue to round 10,
Oscar should have had his hand up.
and then we'll do a bit of side-by-side scorecard comparison. Why not? Kaiser's got it 7-0. I think Cedric's got it 7-0 as well. I don't think he's giving a round to Trinidad.
Trinidad had no idea that Oscar could be so dynamic. He's moving left, he's moving right, and he throws a jab whenever he wants.
This was a sellout, obviously, with those numbers I stated earlier. 11,610 in attendance.
Mm.
Oscar's doing too much moving. By the time he's set, Oscar's in another position.
Mm.
Oscar stands and flurries with the left. Comes back with a straight right. And another right hand right down the pipe.
Another observation is when De La Hoya is throwing those combinations, Trinidad is not trying to fit one in, which is telling, showing you that he's bothered by the shots and they're landing cleanly.
Yeah.
Oof, that was a nice right hand. You saw Trinidad's back foot, get change placement.
Mm-hmm.
Tim and George, that Oscar thinks that Trinidad is weakening and that he can go at him straight forward more than he has before. Whether he's right or wrong remains to be seen, but he seems to think so.
Could be a fatal mistake.
Right there.
Nice body shot.
Because he moved, Trinidad gets the idea that he's not a puncher. You can never forget, though he's moving and on his toes, Oscar's the
discipline, De La Hoya. He moves, he stops, he throws.
Yeah, Trinidad's just looking very ordinary.
Gets right out of there before Trinidad can respond. Trinidad
Yeah.
has to now
If I'm in Trinidad's corner, I'm preaching the fact that this seems to be out of reach for the judges. So, gonna need something drastic here for these remaining rounds.
Go for broke.
With that left jab, just bends his neck back, and back. And it's like a pool
I mean, look at that. I mean, he's throwing the right hand with his right foot forward. Like, that just shows technically he's being outclassed.
Yeah.
But at this point,
And he does have a bit more urgency now.
Hmm.
It's still just a matter of being able to get home, which is tough to do with Oscar moving like that.
Mm.
Could people maybe argue that Oscar's been a little bit too negative? Kind of moving back and around, running, so to speak. I mean, it's been effective.
Yeah, that's silly. Running, he's not running. He's controlling the distance. He's choosing. He's the boss.
Yeah.
He's saying, no, you're not going to hit me. All right, I'm going to step in. And look at that. I mean, look at the replay. Is that running? How is that running? He's running away with the fight.
Definitely.
Look at that. Jesus.
That's just class right there. He's showing his
Jesus.
class, those skills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kaiser said that in the chat. He says it's easy to forget sometimes how good Oscar really was, and a real all-time great. I think that's definitely fair. I think it's easy to remember his last couple of fights when he wasn't so great.
2 judges gave that round to Trinidad. I guess off that left hook that he landed. Oh, gosh.
I'm seeing why this is controversial now, because we're seeing mixed bouts, and these judges are going to make it very close.
Yeah. Trinidad needs 2 knockdowns and to win every round to get a draw on my scorecard. I have it 8-0.
Yeah, listen to those numbers. We all know what we think of CompuBox, but just listen to the numbers. That shows you there's a gap right there.
Oh, that's beautiful. Body shots going in.
Ooh, yeah, that body. It seemed that that was a little bothersome. Probably that left hook. Man, it's funny. He did the same 2 starting punches in three straight times, and then he varied it the second and third time. The way it ended, the following punches. Very interesting. That's how comfortable De La Hoya is in there, because he is the BOSS in there.
Definitely. I mean, Trinidad is definitely more aggressive this round, isn't he? He's trying to cut things off, get closer sooner. While throwing punches, which helps.
Yeah.
Once again, the distance has been closed. I'm sorry, Josh.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just saying the distance. You can see they're closer than ever.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was just gonna say that this fight, Trinidad looking a little better. I mean, it still seems that he's being outlanded 2 for 1.
This is the most interesting round of the fight so far, anyway. Trinidad's making a go of it.
Having better success.
Yeah, that was a nice little left hook he landed while De La Hoya was leaning forward. Now, is it De La Hoya is starting to tire, become laxed, or is Trinidad seem to have a little more energy, or a mixture of 2 things?
I wouldn't say that Oscar's slowed down, to be fair. He's still bouncing around. I think Trinidad's just applying a bit more pressure.
Yeah, these last several seconds, he hasn't thrown as much.
But this is a tricky one to score now, because obviously Trinidad's been coming forward, and he's wasted a bit, but landed a few. De La Hoya's not taken much.
Yeah, De La Hoya had more of an output at the beginning of the round, but yeah, it's kind of waned off here through the latter part. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that was that hard to score. De La Hoya had a huge lead in the beginning. Maybe the gap got closed a little bit, but I think it's still clear as day. De La Hoya. I mean, those are, like I said, those three straight combinations he threw were just more than enough. Yet two judges disagree with me. Look at that.
I think it's easy for them to kind of say, "Oh, that's a better round for Trinidad compared to other rounds," so give him the round. But it doesn't work that way. But look at that combination there.
He missed the last one. Yeah, I remember that right hand. You know, like I said, there was just so much good work in that round. Like Trinidad, he would land one punch here or there.
I can see a new name in the group chat. Slide Encounter, welcome. He says, "Good afternoon. This was one of the most anticipated fights. Always looked to fall back then because up to that point, both cleaned out all the rest of the division. Thought Oscar was too quick for Trinidad. His combination punching throws Tito in exchanges." Yeah, that's exactly what we've been saying throughout the fight. It's good to have you here. Welcome aboard.
Welcome. He saw Boz. He said, "Here comes the running." So doesn't seem like the running is there. If you ask me.
6 rounds to 3, 87-84. Oscar De La Hoya boxing beautifully. I think Felix Trinidad just got shot. I don't know if he expected Oscar to be in front of him or not, but hey, Oscar right there. Oscar's moving beautifully. That's ring generalship. Landing great shots. That's counts in the scoring. Beautiful job by Oscar De La Hoya so far. At least a 3-point lead.
I have it 6 rounds to 2 and 1 even.
Ugh, disgusting. Even round.
One even.
I'm guessing round 1.
Yeah, it must be.
That was not even.
Agreed. Trinidad's definitely probably edging this first 90 seconds out, I would say. Definitely getting the closest he's been once again. And yeah, De La Hoya is moving without punching. So
Yeah.
nice, partially landed left hook.
Get the old more active reason ready.
Yeah, I think that's the key. You're right. He's still miraculously moving very well, given where we are in the fight. But yeah, his output is a bit more reduced now, though.
They mentioned something earlier, and I see it now more, is that Trinidad throws a straight right hand like a jab. I mentioned how he would put his right foot forward at times, which is a terrible technical flaw. But yeah, when he has it, in the right placement and throws that right straight, it lands cleanly. I don't know how hard it is, but he has landed a couple times in this round as he just countered the jab with his right hand and landed. Oh, that was a terribly thrown uppercut by Trinidad. But you see that right hand he throws every now and then?
Yeah.
And that left hook is landing, and it looks like it doesn't look like he puts much into it, but it looks like it lands and it's thudding.
Yeah, it lands pretty clean too,
Yeah. Finally, a Trinidad round. God bless America. Jesus.
I mean, you can still see a case for De La Hoya in that one.
Certainly.
He did well. Damn, the judges' scores are incredible.
I remember this moment here.
Looks like Boz didn't think Trinidad deserved it, so I assume Boz scored that one for De La Hoya. You'd rather score it even. Don't say that when Josh is around. I forgot to pause. Sorry. We'll pause after this round. We'll have an anticipated 12th.
Man, that left hook, it's like all of a sudden, it's like a thing of beauty from Trinidad, huh? And you see that. You saw how low he got, was changing the angles a little bit while following with his feet. Where was that the first 8 rounds, 9 rounds?
Yeah.
It's like he got awoken. Maybe his dad slapped him in the corner.
I think they mentioned something to that nature.
Yeah, you said you had mentioned a moment. I was waiting for it. Maybe I missed it. Look, that was a nice little quick right hand, I think it was, by De La Hoya. But look at that. You see, he's getting low. He's changing levels. He's giving De La Hoya a lot more looks. And there goes that straight right hand that he throws. Oh, man, what a different fight all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And Jim mentioned it. De La Hoya's still moving gracefully, but it's the different looks. And look, two 3 punches from Trinidad now. See, De La Hoya, he does one move, and then he comes back up, and he's met with a straight right. You know, it's at this level those wrinkles that matter, and you know, it's nice to see. Finally, in the 11th round, we're getting something from both fighters. Nice double jab. Oh, yeah, man. You got to step over, Trinidad.
Yeah. but he has figured out how to close that distance these last few rounds. It does make you wonder about the first several rounds when he was just kind of plodding forward.
Wow, De La Hoya, man. This past minute, he's done a lot of good work. This round might be up for grabs, or it's going to be, last 15 seconds to see what can happen. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I do agree that there's an argument for De La Hoya pretty much in all of the rounds.
That was definitely the closest round of the night, I feel.
Yeah. I'll take a pause momentarily, but let's see. We will just pause it there, and we'll get.
It'll be interesting to see how things look. Scoring wise.
Interesting.
Man, shout out to both these fighters. Finally, you know, we're seeing the best of both now.
Oh, yes.
All right. So
and commend them for stepping in this early, you know.
Okay. I've just got up everyone that's in the group that's scoring. There's a couple of different scores going on. There's Baz has got it 109 to 101. Vega and Kaiser have got it 108 to 101, and 3 of us have got it 107, 102.
Okay.
So I want to compare you two. Put you both under the spotlight.
Nice.
All right. So you had the similar scores. So you had the same for round 1 in score, only different reason, different percentages. Round 2, you had the same score and the same percentage, different reason. You've not got any exact same. Oh yeah, there's one. One round the same and one round as a different, as an opposite. So that's good to see. Let's concentrate on that one then. Saves me going through it all. So round 9, you had a difference of opinion. That was a close round. I can't remember who's on the left.
That should be me.
Okay, Alex is on the left.
Mhm.
Alex gave that to De La Hoya and Josh gave it to Trinidad. Both got the same reason, so explain that one. Can happen.
Hey, 2 different judges, you know.
You had the exact same score for round 10 though. Trinidad 60-40 and landing the clearer, more effective shots. And you also both scored that last one to Trinidad as well. So Alex has given Trinidad 2 rounds. Josh has given him 3 rounds. Yeah, I mean, you can't argue too much with that. Looks like most of us have gone that way. I think Boz has given 1 round only.
Yeah. I will say that, I do think that Oscar certainly has a case in pretty much all of the rounds. This last maybe 2 probably a little bit more definitive for Trinidad, but otherwise, yeah.
Okay. I need to highlight this for you here. Josh, round 10, Boz has scored it even, so...
Even? What?
Hey, Boz is the one that teaches us all how to score a boxing match, so the master has spoken. Even round in there.
Yeah, come on. You need to disable that setting.
Hey, man, just real quick, much love to Garden Mutual in the chat. Appreciate the support.
Yes, I noticed that one come through. Welcome, Garden Mutual. Thanks for coming in, stopping by.
There's the slaps. Bam, bam. That's what you should be doing in the fight, son.
Okay, so Lederman's also seeing what the officials are seeing. I assume that the rest of us aren't.
I think that Oscar is fighting this way here in the last couple of rounds because he, in his corner, probably see what we here see, and that is him being up by a margin that Trinidad can only close if he gets some form of a knockdown or multiple knockdowns or actually stops him. So,
did he land those 2 right hands, or did I felt like he landed the first? The second, I'm not sure.
Yeah. But at the same time, Oscar kind of turned away with it, so might have lessened the impact.
And I agree with Josh said. I feel like, it's like, hey, listen, this guy's coming on. You have this in the bag. Just play it safe. Pick your spots, when needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of urgency for Trinidad, and Oscar's just, he knows that if he just gets through this round, he's surely won it.
Still landing and making Trinidad miss. Do I like this? Not really, but I mean, listen, he's hitting Trinidad and not getting hit. Like,
he's being
do
more
something about it,
isn't he?
Yeah.
Yep, and you would think he's up, by a considerable margin.
Wow, Washington State. You don't see many judges from there.
Yeah, they don't have enough boxing up there to be a judge, right?
Right.
The best of the best should be there for all of these championship fights. I understand how the commissions work and all that, but come on, we got to switch that up. Adelaide Bird shouldn't get those big fights just because she's in Vegas.
My Trinidad's closing off strong. All right, let's get this last one in.
No question who looks like the winner here. I mean, come on.
Trinidad had to think about it for a second, didn't he? And then like, oh yeah, raise the hands.
Yeah.
Try and fool them. To be fair, I think he won that round. But,
Harold, what's your final thoughts?
Jim, I disagree totally. Felix Trinidad, absolutely, without question, swept 9, 10, 11, and 12. He pressed the action. He woke up. Something happened. De La Hoya stopped throwing punches. Felix Trinidad deserves a draw. 114, 114, 6 rounds apiece. They're
Yikes.
rounds. Then with decisive rounds, one guy for the other.
draw for Lederman. Interesting.
Felix only won 2 of those. He won 4 and 5, but Felix swept the 4 rounds decisively at the end of the fight.
Oh.
I don't agree with you there, Harold.
Harold, early in the fight, you gave a round to Trinidad, which I felt was clearly De La Hoya's. Now let's see if the judges felt the same way. In which case, it would
So
be a
just before we get to the scores, Boss says he's got it 180 and 111. Cedric gave the last 3 rounds to Trinidad, final score 117, 111. Kaiser's got it 117, 111. He says that that's an all-time great performance from Oscar, really. Shut down an elite fighter, doesn't get credit because people can't score. Absolutely correct.
by failing to fight down the stretch. Michael Buffer has the numbers in his hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the Budweiser scorecards. Glenn Hamada scores the bout 114 to 114. He has it even. Bob Logis scores the bout 115 to 114. And Jerry Roth scores the bout 115 to 113 for the winner by majority decision. De Puerto Rico and the unified welterweight champion of the
Incredible.
Well, disappointment right there for sure. Disappointment.
Hey, they got the cameras there though, so whatever that was.
Of whether Felix Trinidad could get a decision against Oscar De La Hoya in Las Vegas? Yes, he could.
Well, I guess that's a good point. Obviously, Oscar was the golden boy. I guess he was the Canelo of that day in age, was it? So I guess this would have been a pretty huge shock that if anyone was getting robbed.
Hey, who promoted this?
Don King, only in America.
Oh, okay.
Trinidad was fighting for 10 million. Don King said he wasn't worth it. So after the fight, Trinidad says, "Am I worth it now?"
Yeah.
Trinidad tried to get away from Don King. Signed with, I think, Main Event. Said that his contract was up after maybe the Purnell fight. However, he was incorrect. He had to void his Main Event contract and go back with Don King and gets this fight. So
Crazy.
Wow.
salute, Mr. Info. Appreciate you.
Did anyone have Trinidad winning?
I do a quick refresh. I don't think anyone's changed the scores, but no, we've got it all wide. I'll just have a quick look into the chat now, saying let's see what people said. Terrible judging that night, said Boz, sorry. Correct. Guys said this was by definition a genuine robbery. 114 and 115 times 2 is disgraceful. Madness if he actually believed he really won, says Boss. A terrible robbery. Mr. Info says, what a robbery, he's got to run. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Mr. Info, for coming along. Appreciate it. The zone needs to hire Alex, who calls a fight much better than the subpar announcers. There you go, Alex. We'll send off the video as CV for you.
My audition.
Your audition, yeah. Bod should have been judging that night. 100% says Rodolfo. Once again, mine and Joshua's scorecards are embarrassing. What? You gave an even round, man. That's usually me.
Yeah.
Not one even had it close. Not a single 7-5 for Oscar, let alone a draw. Yeah, I think we can safely say that that's definitely a robbery. The robbery of the millennium, maybe we could say, because it wasn't the fight of the millennium, that's for sure.
Oh man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's one of those black stains scores right there. Black eye on the sport. Amazingly, we still see them today.
It's unfortunate. That should have been another crown jewel on Oscar De La Hoya, who obviously deserved it. Trinidad, I mean, like I said, he was obviously always a limited fighter, but with great power and great. I mean, you see at the end of that fight, I mean, he had so much belief in himself. He willed himself to win those last few. But I mean, De La Hoya was obviously the better fighter and the better man that night.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. So that is like kind of a perfect fight for us on these streams to score. It is all about our scoring system, how it would improve the sport potentially if it ever was used, and it would be really interesting to see what the scorecards would look like if they had our metrics on there with the percentages and the reasons given. I mean, it's not going to stop the bad decisions. It's going to highlight what the judge thinks that they're seeing at the time. So, yeah, really interesting. I enjoyed the fight. It might not have been the most spectacular, but it was definitely worth rewatching. I guess it is a historical contest, and it's good to see that even back 23 years ago, judges didn't have a clue what they were doing then either.
Ah, man. It kind of just puts a bad feeling in my stomach to see bad decisions like that, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And nothing done about it, you know? It's like, what the heck?
I can see Boz is taking off. So thanks for coming by as usual, Boz. Always entertaining. He will be doing a stream shortly, I think, with you, Josh. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, we're going to go over there and do a little discussion on some of the weekend's action and then look forward to what's coming. It'll be something quick.
Perfect. So if you've not checked that one out, it's 86 Boxing everywhere. YouTube channel. Go ahead and check that and head over there for their boxing shit after this stream. I think I will come along and join you as well while I cook some food.
Cool.
All right, before we head off then, we'll have a quick look at the upcoming bouts. There's actually not too much coming up in the next couple of weeks. I think next week is the only bit of action. The week after, there's literally nothing that I could see. A quick scan through BoxRec. So on the 23rd, which is next Friday, we've got Shakur Stevenson in action. Let me just get that up on screen. Alex, give us some thoughts and predictions for this one. Shakur Stevenson versus Robson Conceição. Is that how you pronounce that name?
Yeah, I believe it's Conceição, Conceição, whatever. Yes, the Brazilian gold medalist, Robson. Yeah, you know, Shakur Stevenson, I mean, with what, the last 12 to 18 months, you know, he's collected 2 belts, one from Jamel Herring, another from Oscar Valdez, WBC, WBO, super featherweight champion. If you don't know who this gentleman is, then I I tell you, get on this bandwagon now, because I think most believe within 5 years he's going to be the #1 fighter in the world. Does he punch the hardest? No. Is he the fastest? No. but his anticipation, his judge of distance, his understanding of timing, mixed all that together. I don't think there's a fighter that can beat him. You're gonna have to be just the Deontay Wilder power, um, Gary Russell speed, and maybe the height of Tyson Fury to beat this guy. In all seriousness, Rumson's a very good fighter. If you watched him against Oscar Valdez, you see that he has actual boxing skills. But I just think Shakur is going to be too smart, too good for him. I think it's going to be a competitive but clear decision win for Shakur. Maybe a possible late stoppage, but if you're asking me, put my money, I'm putting just Shakur decision.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. Would you go with that as well, Josh?
Yeah, couldn't have stated it any better myself. I think that Stevenson is one of the young fighters to watch here for the future because he's definitely one of those pound for pound type of fighters that who has the style to stick around for a long period of time. So yeah, spot on by Vega there.
Yep. Okay. Is there anything else that's worth talking about on this undercard? There's a couple
I
of
mean,
rounders.
yeah, I mean, we have Shushu, which is Bruce Carrington. If anyone remembers, he was should have been an Olympian. However, they switched up the weight classes, and he didn't have enough points to qualify. Keyshawn Davis, you
Okay,
know,
cool.
he's a silver medalist. Other than that, yeah, there's not too much. Yeah. Oh, Anton Cobb versus Jalen Phillips. I know that is. You see, it's 1-0-1 versus 1-2-1.
Yep. Four rounder.
Happened. But Jalen Phillips is a young man, runs 5-6 miles every day to the gym, from like Northwest, backwoods Florida. Really put it on Anton Cobb, who I believe is a Devin Haney signed fighter or Shakur Stevenson, probably Shakur Stevenson signed fighter. Deserved the win. They're rematching. Anton Cobb is a decent was a decent prospect. How they're looking at him now out of that draw with Jalen, who knows? But just a quick note on that. I'm keeping my eyes on that fight. Going for Jalen.
Okay. Josh, anything else on here that catches your eye you want to mention?
No, not really. Other than what Vega had mentioned there, I am familiar with Keyshawn Davis because he's out of this DMV area, so he looks pretty promising. And then Carrington, yeah, he's looked good, especially that knockout he got in the last fight. But outside of that, Floyd Diaz, I've seen him too. He's pretty solid. But yeah, outside of that, yeah, I'm just gonna check it out and kind of get familiarized with some of these other guys.
Cool, man. All right, well, let's move it along. The next night is Saturday, 24th of September. There's a couple of a couple of fights over in the UK. The first one we will just very, very briefly mention is at Nottingham Arena. It's on DAZN. Maxi Hughes versus Kid Galahad for the it's all the ABO title. Not worth a shit. That headlines, and there's Hannah Rankin, Terry Harper on the card of that. So I thought that was just worth a quick mention, but we won't have to discuss it. That's on DAZN. And then the main fight for next weekend really is the heavyweight contest between Joe Joyce and Josie Parker. So that's at Manchester Arena, Queensberry Promotions, for the WBO vacant interim world heavyweight title, which is exciting. Who have you got for this one, Josh?
I think it's a very interesting matchup, to be honest with you. I like it. Some people were complaining of it, but I do like it. And I think that Joyce is a solid competitor. I mean, he's not the fastest, but he's definitely strong. He has some skill. And I think he's more athletic than some people think, especially when he does this little twisting, twirling kick after the end of his wins. But Joseph Parker, I do feel that he's gotten better offensively since he's been working with Andy Lee, and I like that form of Joseph Parker, when he's doing more offensively, because he's had a penchant for kind of just, I wouldn't say just laying off, but he really wasn't digging in on the offensive side, and he was content with just getting the win, it seemed. But now he seems to have more urgency offensively, and I think if Joseph Parker is rolling on all cylinders, he should be able to defeat Joyce. I don't know that he'll get him out of there, but I definitely think that he can win a decision, assuming he holds up himself. So I'm going to go with Parker via probably a close but clear decision.
Okay. What say you, Alex? What's your pick for this one?
I really thought I was in the minority and believe in Parker is going to defeat Joe Joyce. So I also see that Kaiser in the chat also thinks so, and
Yep.
of course 86. So I feel a lot better, a lot more confident. Like you mentioned, Joe Joyce, he's the juggernaut, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, big, strong individual with a great jab. We remember the Dubois fight where I think everyone had Dubois winning, but you saw the turning of the tide. You saw that jab just constantly landing and just landing more and more over the bone with a jab. That shows you what a sledgehammer that jab is, how clean it lands.
Yeah.
But Joe Parker has the footwork, foot speed, boxing ability to not get hit so much. He has the experience. He's faced 6'7" Dimitrenko, I think his name was.
Mm-hmm.
He's faced guys like Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Andy Lee edition. We saw the first Chisora fight. He had a little bit of trouble. Chisora, Joe Joyce are not comparable, but we've seen them make adjustments. So with that experience, with what I've seen from Joseph Parker, give me a close win as well over Joe Joyce.
Okay. Seems like I'm going to be the minority then. You touched on it, that Kaiser in the chat said it as well. He says, I honestly think Parker's going to beat Joyce on points. Parker's tough and fast. Joyce has a good jab, but I think Parker will outbox him to a decision. I'm on the other side. I think that Joe Joyce is going to juggernaut Joseph Parker. Like he always does. He seems to be able to wilt people down, and we know he's got a solid granite chin. I don't think Parker punches hard enough to be able to stop him, and I think that Joyce will eventually be able to just grind him down and either win on points just through his grinding him down and taking rounds, or he might get a stoppage later on. I think I'm going to go with Joe Joyce. He is the slight favourite. I've just got the odds up here, but it is a very, very close fight in terms of what the odds makers say. So you can get what are the best odds here? Possibly. They're all very close. My mouse has stopped working. It's like 8-15 on Joyce, 4-7. I use UK odds, sorry, for you Americans. I don't understand the
That's
American
close.
one. For Josie Parker, you can get 6-4, 17-10. So it is, it's almost a 50-50 pick and fight, really. Which I find quite surprising, but it's also quite easy to forget just how young Joseph Parker is, because he seems to have been around forever. I guess he's got a lot of miles because he'd been in with a load of people already. And Joe Joyce is, I guess, moderately new in comparison, even though he's quite a bit older. It's a little bit of a weird dynamic. I just see Joe Joyce being able to grind it out and get the win, and the Joe Joyce train rolls on. But it'll be a good fight. I say good fight, a good contest. I'm not too sure that it will be the most exciting of fights. I think the styles have potential to not really gel, but I might be surprised. They might just go for it and create a really, really interesting fight.
Definitely low output in this fight, I would expect.
Yeah.
20-30 punches per round.
Yeah. It's quite a full card as well. I'm not too familiar with Michael Magnesi, who's an Italian.
You're not going to have any help from me on this.
No. He's fought once in America.
Yeah, I don't recall him, especially by name. I don't.
And that stinks.
He's against Anthony Kakashi or Kakash. I'm not too sure how to even pronounce his name. He's a UK fighter.
The
From
Apache.
Northern Ireland.
Yeah, with some of these guys, I don't remember the name, and I think to myself, okay, let me see the face. Maybe I'll remember seeing them. But yeah, in this case, no.
No. He beat Leon Woodstock last time out, which wasn't too bad. Leon Woodstock was kind of half of a prospect quite a few years ago.
Okay.
He beat Sam Bowen, who was 15-0 at the time. Before that, so he's got a couple of decent wins. A loss to Martin J. Ward. Yeah, but that looks like it's a support fight. And then we've also got Amanda Serrano that's been thrown on there for good measure against Sarah Mahfoud. I am not too sure how to pronounce that.
Good to see her back in the mix,
Say that
It's
again.
a letdown. She didn't get to fight in New York, but it's good to see her back.
It's interesting they changed their opponent. The original opponent was someone that Sarah Mahfoud had defeated for the IBF title, I believe. So now they're going to be fighting for undisputed. So this is a better fight. Maybe it's not the same amount of money, but I mean, you get these belts and you'll see what else cooks up afterwards. More accomplishments, more accolades, more money for you, for the next time.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember, and she was on the undercard of the Jake Paul that got cancelled, wasn't it? That was the one.
Jake Paul, that's right.
Cool. Okay.
I think Mark Heffron is out there. I'm familiar with Mark Heffron, but it looks like I don't know, his opponent may be a showcase type.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a kind of a stay busy fight on there. Nathan Heaney is a undefeated 15-0. He's got a good following over here. He gets like a football crowd.
Cool.
I think he's from Stoke. Yeah.
Yep, Stoke-on-Trent, it says.
So he's quite a big ticket seller. That's why they'll put him on there.
Kind of like the Fisher kid.
Yeah.
Similar
to that. And then there's
and Lewis Ritson in Newcastle.
Yeah, same kind of vibe. Asuman versus Samuel Antwi, that could be quite an even contest, potentially. That's for the British welterweight title and the Commonwealth welterweight title. So that one might be fairly worthwhile.
Oh, from Botswana. Don't see too many fighters from there.
So, not too bad. What's Kaiser saying there? Seriously putting the IBO title to try and prop up the main event for pay-per-view. It's garbage. Oh, yeah, it is a pay-per-view event, isn't it? I forgot about that.
Oh, it's pay-per-view over there?
It's pay-per-view.
How much? Like 25 pounds or?
I'm guessing it'll be probably 20 quid, maybe 25.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, see, Esserman has a win over Chris Jenkins. Who, I know Jenkins beat what's Ndongo. So that's a good win.
Yeah, anyway, I think that about does it. That's one to probably find a stream for. I'm just going to shell out £25. And I think that
better than the $73 I just spent on Canelo. So
there is that. You know what? I found the best stream I've ever had before, and that. So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think with that, we are done. Thank you for everyone that joined in and tuned in with us. It was great to have you all on board, and we had quite a lot of scorecards filled out, which was really good for our comparison. Although it was kind of a one-sided fight, so never mind. And as usual, Joshua, Alex, appreciate you boys for coming on and doing this with me. It's been good fun. As usual, Alex, you've got some more research to do because we're out of fights.
Hey, no, I'm excited. We just previewed a UK fight. Our next stream is Eubank versus Ben, and that is the week before Eubank versus Ben's son. So I think we ended this one perfectly to transition to what we have coming forward.
Yes, I'd absolutely forgotten
Awesome.
that we've got that one scheduled in. So yeah, and it's timed perfectly for the Eubank and Ben fight. So yeah, we'll be watching was it the original fight or the second fight?
I believe it's the second. I think
The
the
second
first one
fight.
ended in stoppage.
Yeah, the first one was stoppage. So yeah, the second fight, which was close. So yeah, that'll be really good in a couple of weekends' time. And then we will no doubt be discussing the Eubank Ben fight and card and whatever else is around at that point as well. So yeah, make sure you all like and subscribe to the channel. You'll be reminded about when we've got live streams coming. If you want to follow us on Twitter, there are links in the description. Save you boys trying to remember your handles. Click links in the description. Make sure you follow Alex and Joshua 86 Boxing, and don't forget to go over to 86 Boxing YouTube channel now for Josh and Boz's boxing chits. So they'll be doing probably a recap of this weekend's events and a look ahead to the next weekend's events as well. All right, boys. If that is all, thank you all very much. We'll sign off and we'll see you next time.
Let's go, Miami.
Thanks.
Cheers, boys.
United.